Hi, my name is Praios and I'm a professional gambler. I first thought that there's only a handful of crypto casinos out there, but it turns out that there are hundreds or even thousands of casinos. And I took my time and investigated so that you don't have to do it yourself to find the best casinos out there for you guys. But keep in mind, before you decide to sign up for a Bitcoin casino, you should always consider if the terms are transparent enough, if the website is transparent, if the casino is reputable enough, and if it has the right selection of games for you. So never trust a random guy on the internet who might be living in his parents' basement. Always do your own research. And yeah, don't trust a random guy on the internet, as already said. Gambling is risky and should only be done for entertainment purposes, and you should not expect to make money long term. At best, don't gamble at all, but if you do it anyways, this list might be helpful for you. Also keep in mind that I might have a conflict of interest as I'm affiliated with some of the brands. I try to be as independent as possible, but there might be a conflict, even unconscious or something. So keep that in mind. Before we get into the list of casinos, I want to first show you the advantages of gambling in cryptocurrency or Bitcoin. The first advantage is because of the decentralization of Bitcoin and most other cryptocurrencies. If you do a gambling transaction with your banking account, you might get into trouble. Your account might get frozen, flagged, and the money might even be confiscated. Your bank might fill a suspicious activity report or something and report you for anti-money laundering or terrorist financing or whatever suspicions these institutes might have. And it might be difficult to get these suspicions away. And you could be in deep trouble. And none of this can happen ever if you use Bitcoin because it is censorship resistant and yeah, nobody is looking into the transactions and you can basically send your money wherever you want. Anonymity is another point. Bitcoin transactions are pseudonym, meaning that you can only see the transaction on the blockchain, but nobody knows who made the payment. And yeah, some of the Bitcoin casinos are even fully anonymous so that you don't have to give away any of your data. I mean, most are not, but yeah, this is definitely a plus. And yeah, also the transactions will never occur in the traditional banking system. That's also good. Another good reason for using Bitcoin casinos would be that some of these casinos offer way bigger bonuses than usual in the casino space nowadays. And yeah, often you can get enormous bonuses, maybe 1 Bitcoin or even more. But yeah, there is a catch. Keep in mind that you always have to read very careful through the terms and conditions of the casino in question. And yeah, the bonus terms are often very unfair and also make the playing no fun anymore. So read the terms before starting to play and always obey to the terms, because if you don't, they might take away your money. Another reason to use Bitcoin casinos is to get away from regulatory hurdles. Nowadays, casinos often invade your privacy very, very deeply, and they don't do this voluntarily, at least not always. They are obligated so by law. They must clearly identify who you are and where you are living. And in addition to that, they also have to find out if you are playing within your means. And if you have been through a source of wealth audit, you know how this feels. This is like a tax audit on steroids. So it might be a resolution to this if you go to crypto casinos, as they often have more lax KYC. You could play on Bitcoin casinos to break out from unjustified or unfair local regulation. This in no way is meant as an intent to call for criminal action. Keep that in mind if you listen to the next things. But I'm also a huge advocate for personal freedom and that everyone should be able to do whatever he or she wants if it's not harming anyone else. And yeah, if you are not allowed to gamble in your country, but you might want to do it for fun, this might be a way where you can get around that. And yeah, it could also be a way to get away or don't face very unfair regulation. And I will now call out a country which you probably would have never expected. And this is Germany. They have a regulation which is extremely bad. So for example, if you play slots, you on average have a disadvantage of, I think, 4% or something. And on top of that, in Germany, you would have another 8% tax that's going to the country. And yeah, that's obviously complete bullshit and makes the game completely unbeatable and complete unfair. And yeah, if you don't want to play this additional 8%, I understand people who go to unregulated sites instead. Transaction fees might be another reason to use blockchain instead, because yeah, on blockchain usually the fees are way lower than in traditional finance, where they can be 3% of the amount or even more. And yeah, if your casino charges you these transaction fees, normally they don't, but some do, then it is way cheaper to deposit with Bitcoin or another crypto. All transactions are very easy verifiable, so you can see on the blockchain if your money was sent to the casino, and you can also see if you got paid. We will now get into the presentation of some crypto sites I found. Later I will also get into the disadvantages of crypto gambling and which site I would use or which I currently use. And yeah, I totally underestimated the number of casinos because there are probably thousands out there. And this list has no claim to completeness. So please let me know if you found another great Bitcoin casino, and also let me know what your experience with crypto sites is so far. And yeah, I found two sites that stand out and which I would play on. And these are my number one of the crypto casinos would be stake.com. They are probably the biggest player in the crypto casino market. And in addition to that, they are the only one that have no withdrawal limits. At least I couldn't find any. And they also are big sponsors from huge brands like UFC or English Premier League football clubs. And this gives them more credibility and trustworthiness. They also applied for a UK license. And as this is one of the countries that's the most strict and has one of the best licenses, I expect them to not cheat on you. This also should tell you that I try to be absolutely independent and unbiased, because I don't have a referral link for this casino yet. I might get one in the future. And yeah, let's move on to the next one on the list. The second casino I personally would play on is Trueflip. They seem to have a good standing with most of their players. And yeah, but I found one negative aspect. This is that their fiat payout limits are very small, but in contrast to that, the crypto limits are gigantic. I already have tried to make an account, and unfortunately I was asked to verify myself very early, and this was only possible on my cell phone. And unfortunately, this does not work for me, or didn't work for me. And yeah, I couldn't play there yet. So I have no personal experience with them. But the casino offers most top tier software providers. And they also got a very attractive weekly 10% cashback bonus. And yeah, but unfortunately, they are also restricted in many countries. And this, by the way, is also true for the first one on the list, stake.com. And yeah, after my two favorites, let's now come to some more casinos which are also offering crypto as a payment. There's one big company that owes a lot of Bitcoin casinos. It feels like almost all of them. The company in question is called Dama, and I will just mention three of one of their most popular brands. One is Kingdom Casino, the other one is 7-Bit Casino, and another one is M-Bit Casino. And there's another one that also owes a lot of casinos, which is Hollycorn. And yeah, they also got a lot of casinos under their license. None of these brands stick out to me, so they are as good as the others or as bad, however you want to take it. And as I have no more casinos on my list that were very positive to me, I will just pick a few which I'm affiliated with. And yeah, in my experience, these casinos should be probably okay for the average gambler, meaning guys who are not high rollers and not trying to beat the house, just playing for fun and recreationally. Araxio Development is another company that has a lot of casinos under his name. And yeah, in terms of player reviews, I find them slightly positive. Unfortunately, their payout limits are quite low, but in terms of the games they offer, they surprised me positively as they have most top-tier software providers. And yeah, sort of the same is a company called Rabidi. They also have a lot of casinos under their name. And they also got most of the leading software companies and provide good games. Unfortunately, they have a lot of country restrictions and the payout limits are also comparably small, at least for my needs. On top of that, I also found a lot of average or slightly above average standalone casinos, meaning that there's not one company that owns a lot of brands. And yeah, one of the better ones might be Rocket Pot Casino, which has most of the leading software providers and also fast crypto payouts. Unfortunately, the limits are quite low as well. I personally don't play on any crypto site at the moment, and I only just tried one site. I can't even remember the name, and the experience there was quite negative because the only thing I did there was collecting bonus cards. And I did well, I collected a lot, but they at first don't pay at all. When I was in discussion and complaining all day long for many hours, and at some point they at least paid most of the money, but then the negative experience did not end there. I was depositing with fiat and also wanted to get euros back, but they don't allow for that. And they said, okay, I have to take it in crypto. But yeah, luckily, later this turned out to be a great windfall because back then the Bitcoin price was much lower than it is today. And yeah, I think it's like fourfold or fivefold increase since then. But yeah, don't get too excited because it was just a few $100 in Bitcoin back then. None of these casinos has a solid license. Even Stake.com just has a license from Curacao, and in my experience, a license from Curacao is worth as much as no license at all. And yeah, in case of a dispute, you cannot expect any help from the regulator, so your money might be gone forever. And for me personally, also the withdrawal limits are way too low, but I think this is not affecting 99% of other players. So you are probably fine with the withdrawal limits as they are. You just have to keep one thing in mind, and that is don't play any jackpot games because you might not get paid in your lifetime, or it will take many years until you will get all the money in the unlikely event you hit it. And yeah, who is willing to take the additional risk will also be often rewarded with way above average bonuses, which you are not able to get anymore on so-called normal casinos. In addition to the crypto casino list, I will also add my top 10 ever casinos below. This ranking is purely subjective and only based on my own experience and the experience of players in my network. And yeah, I don't even have referral links for most of them. So it's just to give you to do you a favor and tell you which casinos I like most. And yeah, from place 5 onwards, it was very difficult for me to put these in an order. So consider the last places to be almost equal. However, this is my top 10 list, but I still had great difficulties with many of the casinos on the list. And despite the shortcomings, these are still the best players in the industry in my mind. This was it. If you found this helpful, please like. Also consider to subscribe, at best with bell notifications on, because otherwise you will not be notified when once a new video is out. And yeah, feel free to share this with someone who might also benefit from this content. And yeah, feel free to leave me a comment. I usually answer any single of them. Take care. Bye bye.